who is the in this situation, and this one might be kind of obvious. A couple months into their marriage, this man said that his wife wanted a dog very bad, but his stepchildren have told him that his wife had the tendency to want a dog more than anything, get it, and then give it away when she was tired of it. Well, he brought this up to her, and she promised him that that wouldn't happen, so they got a dog. A couple months in, and he loved the dog so much, but he sensed that his wife might be growing tired of it. Well, his suspicions were confirmed when one day, without consulting him, she went out and adopted a $2,000 dog, and when she came home with the dog, she said that she wanted to get rid of the other dog. He said, absolutely not. You promised me this wouldn't happen. And now me and the dog are a package deal. If the dog goes, I go. And now she's saying that he is an for not standing by her side on this. What do you think? Was this boyfriend too harsh? This guy has a cat named Raven, who's 3 years old, and a few weeks ago, his girlfriend of 2 years moved into his apartment, and it was obvious she wasn't a big fan of his cat. He didn't think it was that big of a deal, until one day he came home and Raven was gone. His cat was missing for hours, and he was worried sick, because he loves that cat. But finally, one of his friends came knocking at his door with Raven, saying that he found him 2 blocks away. When his girlfriend came home, he asked her how his cat, who has never tried to get outside before, ended up that far from the apartment. And after some arguing, she finally admitted to kicking the cat out. He was furious. He said that she had no right to do this, and that because she thought it was okay, he wants her out at the end of the month. She started crying, saying that she had nowhere to go and that if he kicks her out, she would have to live on the street. He said he doesn't care. Now all of his friends say that he's being too harsh. What do you think? Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this kid's brother was in high school, there was a dude that would sit in lunch and would sometimes try incredibly strange or spicy food combinations. And people really liked watching him eat. Well, this guy had an idea. He told students that if people brought him food, any type of food, and paid him $5, he would eat whatever food they brought. And this guy was eating some crazy stuff, like ghost peppers, straight up wasabi, and just other incredibly weird food combinations. Business was always booming and there was always a crowd around him during lunch. During his entire high school career, he apparently made over $5,000. Who here is brave enough to try this? Is this guy in the right or the wrong in this situation? This guy's last name is Doe. It hasn't really affected his life aside from when he was younger and kids would sometimes call him Dodo. Well, his wife, who was 6 months pregnant at the time, wanted to name their future son after her grandfather, who had passed away a couple months prior from cancer. His name was John. Well, her husband said, no, there's no way we're naming our son John, and there's nothing you can do to change my mind. Said he felt like that would be setting their son up for a world of problems, especially when the kid grew up and would have to apply to jobs, as nobody would believe his name is actually John Doe. Well, his wife said he was being an for not even considering a name with such strong family connections. I don't know. Would you want your son to be named John Doe? What do you think? Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. This kid lives in a foreign country, so finding and buying American snacks is pretty difficult. Well, one day at some strange store, he found these. Blue Takis. He bought 2 bags for $10, and he decided he was going to sell them at school. Well, the next day when he pulled out his first bag, everybody lost their mind. They were so interested. There were even bidding wars between students, and that's how he sold his first bag for $20. Selling at lunch was getting risky because everybody was surrounding him and the teachers were getting suspicious, so he started selling in the bathroom. He would sit in a stall and a customer would sit in the one next to him, and they would do the business underneath the stall wall. He was almost caught many times, but the sketchiest time was when he was walking down the hallway. He was wearing a baggy hoodie with all of his Takis stocked underneath the hoodie. A teacher stopped him and asked why he was looking lumpy. The kid told the teacher that he has a condition and that he can't help it. In all, he made $700. Real life cheat codes. If you're at a restaurant and you're enjoying the food and the service, ask to speak to a manager and compliment the food and the service. It'll make them feel good, and you might just get a free appetizer. Instead of apologizing, say thank you. For example, the next time you show up somewhere late, whether it be class or work, instead of saying sorry I'm late, say thank you for your patience. And last but not least, if you tuck a chicken's head under its wing and wave it in a circle, it'll immediately fall asleep. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When he was in school, there was a kid that had a personal chef at his house. And every day the chef would make him homemade croissants to take to lunch. Or if you're fancy, croissant. Who knows? Apparently, these were the most bussin' croissants in the whole world. One day, the chef made the kid 2 croissants. So he ate one and sold the other one to his friend for $5. His friend took one bite of the croissant and his mind was blown. It was the best thing he ever had, he said. He then told the entire school that these croissants are amazing. And soon everybody wanted one. So now this kid was having his chef make him 20 croissants every day to take to school, and he was selling them for $5 each. Business was booming. The principal found out one day and shut him down. But the students complained and complained, and finally the principal said fine. They let the kid bring his chef into school to sell croissants during lunch. In total, the both of them made around $20,000. These playground designs are absolutely terrible. Up first, we have the slide. It doesn't need to extend into 3 slides. The only thing this slide will do is cause pain. Up next, this one's not really a playground, but it's a bounce house. It's a little strange. And last but not least, another bounce house. It's a Pikachu bounce house. But whoever designed this knew what they were doing. Look how frickin' sus that is. Black markets kids ran in their schools. At one school, this kid's parents shopped at Costco, and so this kid would fill coolers full of good soda, and he would bring in snacks to school to sell for a profit. Well, another kid saw what he was doing and copied him, except this kid's parents shopped at Sam's Club, so the stuff he sold was slightly cheaper than the first kid's. Well, the Sam's Club kid put the first kid out of business, and the first kid's mom called the principal of the school and complained and told him about the kid that copied their son. But all the principal said was, "That's capitalism. If he can't compete, that's the way it is." iPhone users, listen up. You need this. This is the Anker Nano Pro charger. And hear me out, it has the same power as Apple's standard 20-watt charger, but it actually works much better. And it's half the size, look at this. I'm all about having the best stuff because I'm bougie like that, and this honestly really works so well. Last night I was cruising the talk and my phone was starting to die. It was at 1%. In 25 minutes, it was at 50% with this. If you have an iPhone 13, you need to get this. The link is in my bio. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. I miss this about Taco Bell. As I sit here reflecting on things I wished hadn't changed, I can't help but to think about Taco Bell's interior design. 7 or so years ago, Taco Bell started rolling out this new interior design. A very modern look. Very Chipotle-like, if you know what I mean. But what I really miss is this. You can smell this picture. The Taco Bell in my hometown was like this until just a few years ago. And I can only imagine there are very few Taco Bells like this left. But they were glorious. And the chairs that swiveled. Like that, you know? I miss them. I understand that things have to change and that sometimes modern is better, but in Taco Bell's case, I prefer this to this any day. Thank you for listening. Should this guy confess to his wife or take this secret to the grave? 6 years ago, his girlfriend had this cat, and she loved this cat. Well, this guy says the cat was incredibly mean, always hissing at people, scratching at people, and never using the litter box. Well, this one week, his girlfriend was going out of town to visit some family, and she asked him that while she was gone, if he can go over there every day to feed the cat. He said sure. Well, the first day he was there, the cat scratched him very bad, and he jokingly told the cat, "Scratch me one more time and I will replace you." Well, that stuck with him, and it gave him an idea. He took her cat to an animal shelter, left it there, and took home another cat that looked identical to the first one. It's now been 6 years, and they got married, and they still have the swapped cat. His wife loves the cat, and always mentions how happy she is that the cat is so much more well-behaved. But little does she know, no one knows what happened to the first cat. Should he confess? Over 20 people injured and multiple dead after a car plows through a Wisconsin holiday parade. This happened just a few hours ago. Around 20 or 30 minutes into the parade, people started seeing a red SUV driving very fast down the street. At first, they thought it might have been Santa, until the SUV started hitting people, and that's when the true horror of the situation became clear. Over 20 people have been sent to local hospitals for treatment, and multiple have passed away. They have not released the total number yet. I heard they have one person in custody and there's no longer a threat, but I'm also hearing that there are 2 other people that were involved and that they're still at large. This is incredibly sad. It was a holiday parade. My heart goes out to the victims, their families, and anybody affected by this. Can you spot the leopard in this photo? There is a leopard in this photo, and people are having a very hard time finding it. So I want to see how sharp you guys are. If you see it, don't spoil it. Just comment "found it." Anyone? Did she do the right thing in this situation? This woman works at a retail store in the mall, and currently they're very short-staffed. Well, the other day, the only people working was her, 2 of her coworkers, and the manager. While she was working, her manager came over. Her manager said that her dad had called the store 5 times asking for her schedule, and then she asked her to tell her dad to stop doing that. She was confused because that didn't sound like something her dad would do. So she texted her dad and asked him. He said he hadn't called the store and he didn't know what she was talking about. Now this freaked her out. She went back to her manager and said, "Hey, my dad hasn't called the store at all today. You didn't give that person my schedule, did you?" Well, her manager said she did. She couldn't believe her manager did that. She yelled at her and then she quit on the spot. Her manager started crying, begging her to stay. But she said no.
I don't know why I did it. It smelled good. They always told me it smelled better than it tasted, but I didn't believe them. There's no way this doesn't taste good. It's gotta taste good. What? Life is full of disappointment. Thank God for cheese. Why couldn't it taste like cheese? It looks like cheese, why couldn't it taste like it? Oh.
North Korea has just banned their citizens from wearing this. Kim Jong-un has reportedly banned citizens of North Korea from wearing leather trench coats. And the reason? He doesn't want them stealing his signature look. These trench coats became popular in North Korea in 2019 after Kim Jong-un wore one on live TV. And soon, everybody wanted one. Nearly every marketplace got their hands on some and started selling them to citizens. And Kim Jong-un has had enough. So now there are literal fashion police patrolling the streets of North Korea and confiscating these leather jackets from stores and citizens. I'm honestly not surprised. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this kid was in 8th grade, he went to a boarding school that was both a middle school and a high school. Well, during that same time, his dad worked for a Bitcoin mining company. So this kid had a pretty good idea of the ins and outs of mining Bitcoin. He was talking to one of the other boarding students who was interested in cryptocurrency, and he was telling this kid how the biggest cost would be electricity, and how sometimes the cost of electricity would be valued more than the Bitcoin mined. Well, then this kid told him that the electricity in his dorm is free, and bingo. They stole a bunch of computers from the school library, gathered more equipment, and set up a Bitcoin mining rig in his friend's closet. They are now juniors. They have never been caught, and their Bitcoin mining is very successful. Businesses you could run at your school, Part 2. Cologne or perfume. Everybody likes smelling fresh, and I believe that there is a fragrance market waiting to be tapped into. For example, let's say you bought a 50 milliliter bottle of Jake Cologne from Hollister. You can get that for $30. Possibly less online. Now, the average amount of sprays in a 50 milliliter bottle of cologne is 735. Now, let's say you went to a school dance and posted up in the bathroom, selling one spray of cologne for 50 cents. I bet you people would do it. You could even try selling it at the bathrooms in school. Who knows? But once you sold out of one bottle of cologne at 50 cents a spray and 735 sprays, your profit would be $337.50. Is she in the wrong for getting her boyfriend birthday presents? So she starts off by saying that her boyfriend had recently turned 21. And she got him a t-shirt and a video game he's been wanting. How nice. I'm sure he loved it, right? No. After his birthday, he was giving her the silent treatment, even leaving her on red. So finally, she confronted him and asked him what was wrong. And he finally said that it was unfair that she got him a birthday present. He said she was being manipulative because now he has to get her something for her birthday. She was like, what? She said, no, you don't have to get me something, but I'd like to spend the day with you. It's the thought that counts, so a card would be fine. And he still said that what she did was a dick move, and that he's unsure that he can deal with a materialistic girlfriend. In my opinion, I think she should run. Businesses you could run in your school. Go to Target and buy a 16 fluid ounce bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce. It's about $4. Then go to Amazon and order a pack of 100 plastic ramekins for $10. Then go to school and during lunch, walk around and sell people sides of Chick-fil-A sauce for $1 each. And once you sell more than 14, that's profit, baby. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. These two friends went around the school and told everybody that they were going to have a carnival after school. Well, not really a carnival, but just the carnival games. And well, people actually showed up. But the thing is, all the games were very rigged, and they were made with very crappy plywood. For example, the ring toss game. Their rules were that you had to stand 20 feet back and try to make it. People had to pay money to play, and obviously no one won. And once they realized that this was all a scam, everybody left. But the two friends still made $350. Black markets kids ran in their schools. When this person was in elementary school, apparently kids would sell their parents' jewelry for money. And being elementary school kids, they weren't charging a lot for the jewelry. People were slinging rings and necklaces for 50 cents to $1. One kid even sold his grandmother's engagement ring for 75 cents, and he used it to buy ice cream after school. To him, it was a win. To his grandma, well, I'm sure that was a different story. Exposing carnival games, Part 5. Shoot the water gun into the clown's mouth to pop the balloon. Most places adjust the sights so they're a tiny bit off, and the balloons are usually used, making them harder to pop. If you play this one, aim high and pick one with a new balloon. Pops easier. Throw the baseball in the milk jug. Where I worked, they took a hammer and bent the top, making it as hard as possible. And when some very talented kid got it in, I gave them a big prize, and they fired me. Follow for more secrets. Businesses you could run at your school. This one is not going to make you a ton of money, but it's a pretty ballin' way to make some extra cash, and it doesn't cost much to get started. Go to Amazon and buy a pack of 72 unsharpened pencils for $10. Then order a pack of 4 pencil sharpeners for $3. Always keep the pencils and sharpeners in your backpack at all times. And then whenever somebody asks to borrow a pencil from you, you sell them one unsharpened pencil for $1. They'll be like, dude, this isn't even sharpened. That's when you pull out the pencil sharpener and charge them 50 cents to sharpen the pencil. I know some classrooms have pencil sharpeners already in them, but sometimes people don't want to have to walk up and sharpen the pencil in front of the entire class. And even if they don't use your sharpener, if you sold every single one of the pencils, you would make $72. That's $62 profit, baby. Is this guy in the wrong for what he said to his grandma? He starts off by saying his grandma had recently picked up acronyms and slang, and she would use them whenever she was talking. Stuff like LOL, LMAO, or that's my 13th reason. He assumes she picked it up from watching TikToks with his little sister. Everyone in his family thinks she's hilarious and awesome for doing this, but he said he thinks it just makes her look stupid. Well, one day he was talking with his grandma and he asked her a question, and she replied, MYOB. He's like, what does that mean? And she said, silly, it means mind your own business. He said he became very, very embarrassed and told her to stop saying stuff like that to be cool. It makes you look stupid, Grandma. He then noticed how heartbroken she looked, and she stopped using this slang altogether. He said he kind of feels bad, but not really because she doesn't look stupid anymore. What do you think? Black markets kids ran in their schools. When this kid was in high school, he had a friend that had about 4 portable chargers, and his business was renting out these portable chargers for students, $10 a day. There were tons of kids who had phones that would die and they didn't have chargers with them. So his business was pretty poppin'. He even hired some other kid to make sure the people he rented these out to would return them. If they didn't return them, this kid would start a terrible rumor about them, and everyone was too scared to risk that, so he always got these portable chargers back at the end of the day. He ran this portable charger renting service for 1 year. He was never stopped, and he made just over $1,000. Everyone needs one of these in their house. This is crazy. This is the White Boat recycling machine, and it makes toilet paper, but it makes the toilet paper out of computer paper. Feed the paper in, it shreds it up, mixes it with water, and then lays it out and dries it. After about 30 minutes, you get a fresh roll of toilet paper. It's pretty nice. Would you want one? Weirdest products ever sold. This is called the Isolator, and it was invented by Hugo Gernsback, and its purpose was to allow someone to focus without any outside distractions getting in. It acted as noise-canceling headphones and horse blinders. Basically, it's just a hood with tiny holes to look out of. The first models included a breathing tube, but people were saying it was still hard to breathe. So in his newer versions, he included an oxygen tank to be purchased with it. I don't know, seems a little sus to me. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this guy was in middle school, the biggest rule the school had was no chewing gum. That's because the school was in a brand new building and they didn't want kids putting gum under tables, chairs, and other furniture. So he thought it would be a perfect time to start selling gum. He sold gum for $1 a stick, and he was selling multiple packs a day. Business was booming, and he even bribed a few teachers not to snitch. He ran this business for 3 years, and whenever the school tried to shut him down, he would remind them. The rule is don't chew gum in school, not don't sell gum in school. So he was always in the clear. After 3 years of running this business, he made enough money to put a down payment on a car and buy super nice clothes. I'd say it was a major success. Is this guy in the wrong for not getting his girlfriend a ring? He starts off by saying him and his girlfriend met on a Skyrim meme page in 2014, and now they've been together for 6 years. Well, their anniversary was coming up and he decided he was going to propose. And since they met on a Skyrim page, he thought it would be a great idea to propose with something called the Amulet of Mara. Not sure if I'm saying that right. I don't play Skyrim. But apparently it symbolizes that somebody is ready for marriage. So he bought a real one, took his girlfriend on a picnic, and proposed with this Skyrim toy. She said yes, but then she was also very sad. She told her boyfriend that she wanted a real ring. He said he didn't see a point since he already bought the necklace and she already said yes. So why would he get her a ring? This obviously made her very sad, and things were very tense after that. Should he have gotten her a ring, or was the necklace enough? My favorite comebacks. This is what I'd say if somebody made fun of the way I dressed. Hey, Robbie. What's up, Fritz? You dressed like a frickin' grandpa, bro. That must be why your mom calls me daddy. Take that back. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When he was in 4th grade, he went to a very, very small school. And in one of the classrooms, the teacher had boxes of old, broken Crayola crayons. Here's some backstory real fast. A year before, for Christmas, this kid got a crayon maker, a crayon factory machine, and a crayon carver. So he has an idea. He asked the teacher if he can take home all the old broken crayons, and she says yes. So he made a few demo products. He used the broken crayons to make brand new swirly ones. He used the factory to make some cars and dogs out of crayons. And he carved cool stuff into the crayons as well. When he took them back to school to demonstrate what he could do, the kids loved it. And they started placing their orders. Immediately, business was booming. He sold the melted crayons for $1 each, and the molds and carved ones for $3 each. He was never shut down, and in total, he made about $112. Is this girl in the wrong for catfishing her friend on TikTok? I think the answer is obvious, but let's dive in. A couple weeks ago, she found out that her friend had a secret TikTok account that she didn't know about, and it was private. She said she wanted to follow it, but her friend would notice that it was her following, so she probably wouldn't accept it. Well, this is what she did. did. She went on Pinterest and found a picture of a guy that looked like somebody her friend would be into. She then made a TikTok account, put this guy's picture as the profile picture, and in the bio wrote, "Feel free to slide into my DMs." She named this fake person Flynn. Once Flynn's profile was complete, she sent a follow request to her friend, and her friend accepted. Well, a couple days go by, and her friend posts a video, and Flynn comments on the video. Her friend then slides into Flynn's DMs, and they start talking for days. She said she was going to tell her it was her, but she didn't because it was fun and harmless. Well, a couple of days ago in class, she was sitting there scrolling through TikTok. Little did she know her friend was behind her and saw that the profile she was on was Flynn's. She was pissed. She called her a liar and a bad friend, and now they aren't even speaking. And this girl wants to know, is she in the wrong for catfishing her friend? What do you think? Is this guy in the wrong for kicking his brother and his family out of his house? About a year ago, this guy let his brother's wife, and their 2 kids stay with him. They had lost their jobs due to COVID and had been evicted. Well, one day his nephew was in the bathroom. He was doing the hairspray fire TikTok trend in the mirror. And when he lit the hairspray on fire, it somehow spread to a pile of folded towels. And just like that, the entire bathroom was on fire. Everybody had to evacuate the house, but luckily the fire station was nearby, so help came quick. The rest of the house was fine, but the bathroom was pretty messed up. He then told his brother's family that they have to be out of the house by the end of the week. They apologized profusely, saying it'll never happen again, and that they can't be kicked out because they have nowhere else to go and they have no money. But he stuck to his guns. He said he doesn't feel safe with them in the house anymore. Did he go too far by kicking them out? Or is the bathroom fire a good reason to have his brother's family hit the road? These apps will change your life. It's how I afforded my Apple Watch, my camera, my new TV. Just hear me out on this. On these apps, I get paid to shop, I get paid for the literal steps I take every day, I get paid to take surveys. It's awesome. This is my all-time earnings for one of the apps, and yes, I'm very proud. I spend a little bit of time every single day on these apps and the money builds up. So go to the link in my bio and download all 4 for the most money. Trust me on this. Businesses you could run in your school, so you want to make some money. There are many ways, but here's one way. Go into your pantry and see what you have. Come on, I'll show you mine. So this is where you go in here and you try to find out what you have. I have this. I'll sell that for $2. This will be $1. $1. Salt and vinegar chips. That's $2.50. 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, 50. Even if this is how you start your business, look, chances are you didn't pay for it. Your parents did. So that's pure profit. Let's go. Black Market's kids ran in their schools. Yep, it's a follower submission. He ran this business this year in middle school. He made a new Instagram account and started telling people that he would record their fights for $10. So I guess if 2 kids had beef and they knew they were going to fight after school, they would text him, tell him the time and the place, and he would show up there with his camera. He would film the altercation and then get his $10. I guess business was booming. He made $250, and he was always roaming the halls to see if he could naturally find fights. All the fights he recorded, he put on his Instagram. He was 100% shut down. But hey, $250, not bad. So this person sent me a DM on Instagram, and they want to know if they are the asshole in this situation. I have not read it yet, but I'm going to read it right now. Let's see what we think. Here it is. So I recently got a new girlfriend. When I first met her, I was also going to meet my former best friend. We had a big fight about a week before over him being a weirdo. He sucked his cat's... Okay, so he started trying to impress her. I think he means impress his girlfriend. We started arguing, and he repeatedly asked my girlfriend to have sex with him. She denied and said she would if she wasn't with me. What is happening? He lost me at the cat line. I'm gonna read the last paragraph he sent me because this is pretty. I am pretty sure she was cheating on me with him. He's also in a relationship. Today, she got so annoyed, she broke up with me. Less than 10 minutes later, he messages me saying, sorry, he didn't mean for this to happen. Later on, he broke up with his girlfriend. I'm almost certain they're going to date each other. Next time I see him, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Am I the ass? I don't know. Black Market's kids ran in their schools. I'm just gonna read some submissions I have in my DMs. In middle school and early high school, I would stuff my backpack full of cans of pop, mostly Mountain Dew, and sell them for $2 a can. There was only water and Diet Coke in the vending machine. I would sell 2 12-packs a day and make around $30 to $36 a day doing that. I ended up saving around $1,200 under my dresser just from the profits of the soda side hustle. It was mostly Baja Blast and regular Mountain Dew, but I would change it up. I never got caught, and every time I was questioned, I would have already left my insanely heavy and bulging backpack full of pop with a friend. Solid side business and super easy to start. I like this one. Here's another one. It says, I have a story. When I was in middle school, I had a business where I would buy inappropriate anime stickers
from a private Amazon account. The stickers were in high demand and selling out quickly in about $40 to $100 a day until I was caught because a kid told the vice principal, getting me a week of in-school suspension and hard labor. They make you do hard labor if you get in trouble?
The most depressing ending to a Tom and Jerry episode. Everybody knows Tom and Jerry. It's a lovely TV show featuring a cat and a mouse who are constantly fighting and chasing each other. Usually these episodes end in a funny, light-hearted way. But in 1956, in the last episode of Blue Cat Blues, something different happened. Tom and Jerry have given up on life, and they both sit by each other on a train track while we hear train horns coming from the distance. And they just sit there and wait for the train. See for yourself. Okay, this is definitely the scariest game on the App Store, but it's awesome. It's called Rec Room. You customize your character, enter the world, and you can hang out with people and play any games you want. You even get your own dorm room that you can customize and change your outfit in. My favorite part is all the games you can play. The horror games are actually frightening, but I love that you can actually play Squid Game. Here's me walking up the stairs getting ready to play a game. The details in this are incredible. Go to the link in my bio and download this app right now and then come find me. I'll be the dude playing basketball in the gym. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. This kid is very good at math, and every day everybody in his grade gets the same math homework. So he had an idea. He was going to start selling answers to the math homework every day, but he was going to do it in a very specific way. He charged $2 per homework page. Once he got the $2, he would take a picture of the answers and Snapchat it to them. The only thing was, if anyone screenshotted it, they would be banned, and he would never sell them answers again. So I guess people had to be pretty quick if they wanted the answers. He made decent money and business was always booming. Would you live on Mars if you had the chance? And you might get the chance. This is Elon Musk, we all know him, and he has some major plans. He wants to land 1 million people on Mars by the 2060s. He would do this by using 1,000 reusable spaceships that have the capacity to carry 100 people each. 10 waves of 1,000 spaceships. And when they got there, this is what would happen. They would first build a base, then expand that base into a city, and then expand that city into a metropolis. But can he do that? He seems to think so. And his other plans for Mars are even crazier. I'm the host of a new YouTube series, so if you want to learn more about this exact topic, go to the link in my bio and watch that video. It might convince you to join Elon on his journey, or not. George Weasley grew up to be Willy Wonka. Hear me out. George grew up, and as a continuation to his store, Weasley Wizard Wheezes, he decided to open up a chocolate factory. And the Oompa Loompas are versions of house elves. Now he lives there alone because he lost the person closest to him, his twin. And that's why everything in his office is cut in half, because he's missing his other half. I can see it. Things my old carnival job taught me about carnivals part 4. Yes, the basketball game. It's a fan favorite and people love to play it. I always knew that there was something up with this game, but then when I saw it for myself, I was kind of shocked. So, yes, the rims are oval shaped, which makes it really harder to get that swish. Also positioned higher than regulation, and the balls are overinflated, which make them extra bouncy. When I used to work there, I always had a ball on me that I would just toss around and have fun with. It was different than the balls that people played with. Mine was normal, theirs were extra inflated. Quick tip for you, if you want to win this game, ask the game worker to use their ball. 9 times out of 10 they'll say yes, and then try to swish it. Would you live on Mars if you had the chance? And you might get the chance. This is Elon Musk, we all know him, and he has some major plans. He wants to land 1 million people on Mars by the 2060s. He would do this by using 1,000 reusable spaceships that have the capacity to carry 100 people each. 10 waves of 1,000 spaceships. And when they got there, this is what would happen. They would first build a base, then expand that base into a city, and then expand that city into a metropolis. But can he do that? He seems to think so. And his other plans for Mars are even crazier. I'm the host of a new YouTube series, so if you want to learn more about this exact topic, go to the link in my bio and watch that video. It might convince you to join Elon on his journey, or not. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Another follower submission. Again, this one isn't really a black market, but listen up. He told me in 9th grade, him and 2 of his friends started to throw parties. They would find someone's house to do it at first, and then they would begin planning. At the start of this, they would charge $10 for a wristband. And if you showed up to the party with the wristband, you would get in. Now, the bracelets they would give out when someone bought them had a symbol you can only see if you held a black light over it. And every party, there was a different symbol. They did this so kids didn't go out and buy their own bracelets so they could get in for free. The party started going crazy. They then upped their prices and started charging $20 for a bracelet, and then $40. And then they hired their friends to DJ the parties. They were making bank. And if the parties ever got too crazy, they would call the cops on their own party. And because it wasn't their own house, they would just leave. Some shady stuff. But he told me they made so much money. Terrifying things caught on camera. This is what a parrot's tongue looks like. Looks like a freaking alien. The clip you're about to see is of nature photographers filming a group of gorillas. But one gorilla really wanted to show his dominance. Check it out. Oh heck no. Black markets kids ran in their schools, part 13. This one's kind of messed up, and I'm telling you, do not do this. It happened at a middle school. There were important tests coming up in every subject, and one kid got pink eye. But instead of staying home, he got an idea, came to school, and sold his pink eye for $5 to kids that didn't want to take the test. What he did was, he would stick his finger in his eye and then into the other person's eye to give them pink eye. That person would have pink eye and have to stay home and miss the test. Eventually, other kids started doing this when they got pink eye, and it became a huge problem for the middle school. Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one kid sold Starbursts from his locker, 10 cents for 2 of them. If he liked you, he would give you 2 Starbursts from the regular bag. If he didn't like you, he would only give you 2 yellow Starbursts. At this one kid's school, the vending machines sold many different flavors of Doritos. So this kid would go to school every day and buy every single bag of Doritos from the vending machines. He had a lot of money. And then he would sell them to students for double the price.
Wow.
Times people got totally schooled. This kid posted an update saying he bought a house at 18, and then Snoop Dogg comes in, calls him out for actually being in Home Depot. This guy tried to start something by saying over and over again that Lion King is overrated, but he got quickly called out, because that definitely says Loin King. The wording on this newspaper article is definitely unfortunate. I'm pretty sure firsthand is 1 word. When it's 2 words, it seems a little sus. And this news anchor, who just doesn't give a crap anymore. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. Every Sunday, this kid goes to Walmart and buys a bunch of melatonin gummies. He then puts those gummies in Ziploc bags, brings them to school, and tells the 6th graders that they're special gummies, if you know what I mean. Edibles. Well, people believed him, and they bought them. He sold 2 gummies for $10, and he's made around $700 so far. He hasn't been caught yet, but he did say he's noticed a lot of people sleeping in class. Times people really messed up. Somebody tried to recreate this beautiful egg and rice food sculpture, but this was the result. That's honestly horrifying. Whoever made this Barbie didn't put the eyes on right. Now Barbie's looking very sus. This toy that's supposed to be a police car. That's a frickin' helicopter, you idiots. And this rollerblading race clip. This guy was pretty sure he was gonna win, so he started celebrating. And then this guy comes out of nowhere and beats him. Too bad. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. In sophomore and junior year of high school, this kid got really into emulating video games. Well, he decided to load a copy of his entire emulation setup onto password-protected flash drives. And he would charge students $20 for him to copy these games onto the school computers. These included emulators for every console. Nintendo 64, GameCube, the Wii, you name it. And it had instructions on how to set it up. Business was booming, and by the end of junior year, he made enough money to pay for a brand new PC setup for himself. Nice.
Security's tight.
Yeah.
But I think we can do it still. I think he's packing.
In the front?
Both. We're gonna do this. Let's clean the bean. It's a Saturday. It's 90 degrees in Chicago. We're in front of the bean, and it's freaking dirty. Let's clean it. It's a dirty bean. I'm gonna go under there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start cleaning, and I'm gonna get everyone to chant with me on a count of 3 to clean the bean. We're cleaning the bean.
Clean the bean.
Hey guys, 1, 2, 3. Clean the bean. All right.
Clean the bean.
1, 2, 3. Clean the bean. Yeah.
The mystery of Mr. TV Head. In 2019, residents in a Virginia neighborhood woke up to find old box TV sets on their doorstep. And after checking their doorbell cameras, they noticed the TVs were dropped off by a man with a TV head. And apparently he had done this to 50 houses in that neighborhood. He walks up the stairs, drops the TV off, and politely walks away. Check out the video. People who were legends in their high school. This one is very short.
but is definitely legendary. At one high school, this kid's last name was Alcock, and one day he decided to run for student council. He made campaign posters and put them all around the school, and the posters consisted simply of his slogan, "Part man, part machine, Alcock." That's wild.
Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. This kid and his brother started this business right as schools were starting in-person classes again. His school required students to have hand sanitizer and masks on them every day, and there were teachers standing by the entrance. And if you didn't have your mask or your hand sanitizer, you weren't allowed in the school until someone brought you one. This kid and his brother noticed that people were forgetting their masks all the time, so they had an idea. They bought a bunch of supplies, and they would stand near the school's entrance. And if somebody forgot their mask or their hand sanitizer, these two would sell it to them. They even got the teachers in on this. They started sending students over to them who forgot their stuff. They made hundreds and hundreds of euros, but this all stopped when the school changed the rules. Best pranks people have pulled, part 1. One summer in college, she worked at her school's registrar office, where she would register incoming freshmen for their classes. Well, one of the professors, who was also her mentor, asked if she could handpick students for his upcoming freshman seminar. She said of course. The professor wanted her to pick students with high SAT scores, straight A's, stuff like that, and she said of course, except she didn't actually do that. Instead, she handpicked 15 students, all of them named Sarah. Things everybody used to do as kids. Only walk on the stripes when crossing the street. I don't even have to explain this one. You're at a grocery store, and you just grab one of these for no reason at all. I'm 10. I don't need coupons. Sitting on the bus in the cold morning. And these. Always dive in for these. I need a favor from all of you, and I'm hoping you'll join me on this. My comments are flooded with these. Are boys from US? Are the boys here? Am I pretty? Check out my profile. And it makes me so mad. And they're literally trying to scam young gentlemen by having them click that sus-ass link in their bio. It would be a shame if whenever all of you see a comment like that, you go to the profile and report it. It would be a shame. Now, I'm sure these bots will keep making new accounts, but I just can't sit by and let them take over my comment sections. I need you all to take action. Who's with me?
Weirdest things people found in their new houses. One family bought a house and tore the carpet up, and they found a giant Monopoly board painted on the floor. This was in someone's basement. I definitely want to know what's behind that door. In the basement of someone's home, they found this beautiful treasure, a Blockbuster sign. Oh, how I miss you, Blockbuster. And this room that somebody found in their attic. I feel like it was used for something sinister.
Craziest things found in fast food. In 2004, a California woman stopped at a Costco food court. She wanted to get a hot dog because she was hungry. Well, she got her glizzy and sat down. But as she was munching, she felt something hard in between her teeth. She then realized that there was a live 9mm bullet in her hot dog. Completely disturbed, she went home and fell asleep. But then the next day, she was having terrible stomach pains. She went to the doctor, and they found out there was another bullet in the hot dog. And she ate it. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower sent this story in about his brother. When his brother was in high school, he would ride his bike to the pet store and buy a bunch of feeder mice. He would then put them in a cage he built in his closet to breed them. Once he had enough mice, he took them to school and put them into a cage he built inside of his locker. He started selling these mice to students for $20 a mouse, and people actually bought them. Teachers and the principal started to notice a bunch of kids walking around with baby mice. That's when his business had to stop. He made $250, and nobody knew it was him. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower sent me this story about her brother. When her brother was in middle school, there was a donut shop right next to the school. So him and his friends started doing something crazy. Before school, a couple times a week, they would run into the donut shop and steal the donuts on display. And then at school, they would sell the donuts at lunch for $1.50 each. Business was booming for a while. Altogether, they made around $6,000. But things came crashing down when the donut shop owner found out their names. He then reported them to the police. They got into huge trouble and had to pay back the donut shop everything they earned. Black markets kids ran in their schools, part 14. This one happened at a high school. Let's call this kid Bill. Everybody knows these calculators are very expensive. Well, Bill would steal these calculators from students and then sell them to other students. It became a huge problem at the school. Everybody's calculators were getting stolen. Little did they know Bill was behind it all. Principal made an announcement. Everybody had to get their name engraved on their calculator. Well, Bill got sloppy. One day he was selling one of these to another student and accidentally sold this student back the calculator he stole from him. When the student saw his name engraved on the calculator, he punched Bill right in the face. They got into a huge fight and then Bill was expelled. Here's a fun fact though. Years later, Bill tried to rob a taxi driver with a squirt gun. But the taxi driver pulled a real gun on him, and Bill went to jail. Why do these exist? Crocs with built-in socks. Sock Crocs. unnecessary, and I can only imagine it'd be difficult to wash. This ice cream cone holder that rotates the ice cream for you so you don't have to lick the ice cream. Just lick the cone yourself, it's not that hard. It's pointless. This phone you can buy on eBay for $65. It's got Bluetooth and decent storage, but the crazy part is, it's also a fidget spinner. Unnecessary? Yes. Kinda cool? Maybe. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. When he was in high school, he was taking woodshop class. And something he would make all the time was these wooden door stoppers that teachers would use. And the teachers at his school seemed to lose their door stoppers often. So he would make them and sell them for $5 a piece. Well, the funny thing is, the teachers weren't simply losing their door stoppers. This kid would secretly take them from their classrooms. And then when they noticed their door stopper was missing, they would come to him and ask him to make them another one. And the cycle continues. He made $300 doing this. What my old carnival job taught me about carnivals, part 3. Don't get me frickin' started on the pick a duck game. Y'all know this, right? You pick up a duck, you flip it over, and it'll tell you if you want a small, medium, or large prize. Well, where I worked, every single one of the ducks was a small prize duck. We didn't put any large prize ducks in there, but they would give us a large prize duck to put in our pocket, just in case someone asked us, do you guys even have any large prize ducks in here? Then we'd be all sneaky. As we're flipping them over, we'd toss the duck in there, and be like, yeah, see, there's one right here. Shady stuff. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this kid was in 7th grade, him and his family moved to a new city. And right by their new house was this fish shop. Well, one day his mom was in the fish shop and she noticed the shop owner was dumping fish that nobody wanted down the drain. So this kid had a great idea. The next day, him and his sister went in the fish shop and asked him if they could keep the fish that nobody wanted instead of him dumping them down the drain. He said sure. So they took the fish home a couple times a month and put them in bags. They would bring 3 to 5 fish to school a couple times a month and selling them for $2.50 each. Well, kids were actually buying these fish and business was booming. To minimize suspicion, they took orders the night before and then only brought in the fish they knew would be bought. Surprisingly, no one snitched. And overall, they made $2,000. However, this all stopped when COVID started and the fish shop went out of business. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this kid was in 8th grade, his school had something called a flex period, where every student had an hour to do whatever they wanted. Play games in the gym, do homework, just sit there. Well, this dude had an idea. He started bringing his PS4, his games, and 2 controllers to school every day. He then found a spare empty room with a TV in it, and realized that if you lift up the ceiling tile, there's an outlet. So he hooked up his PS4. Well, all the kids wanted to play, so he started taking reservations. If students wanted to play the PS4, he charged $10 for 15 minutes, $30 for 30 minutes, and $60 for the whole hour. Business was booming. He made $640 in 1 month, but he was shut down because somebody found his reservation sheet. They snitched, and his PS4 business was done. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Another follower submission. He goes to a boarding school, and every night staff members would walk around and collect everybody's phone, and then they would get it back in the morning. Well, this guy had an idea. One day he was browsing Amazon when he came across this. He found out you could buy fake iPhones. They look and feel real. So he bought one for $20 and rented it out for $2 a night. They would then give the fake phone to the staff members so they can keep their real phones at night. It was booming. He then bought a bunch more. He was renting out 10 of these fake iPhones a night. Well, he made around $2,500 before the teachers caught him. They took away all the fake phones and he was suspended. Here's a picture that made me uncomfortable today. This is a urinal shaped like a Venus flytrap. First of all, I wouldn't want to take a pee inside of a Venus flytrap's mouth. And also, if I was peeing over this urinal and I fell forward on accident, that might be a really big problem. Look at those things. Here's another one. Is it fried chicken? No, it's an ice cream bar that looks like fried chicken. It makes me sick to my stomach just looking at it. Look at these bad boys. People are calling them Hair Jordans. I might get myself a pair. And last but not least, this bathwater. Look at that. You wouldn't catch me bathing in it or drinking it. I might smell it though.
আমি চাইনি তোমার মন খারাপ হোক।
এইটা এখন আমাকে বিশ্বাস করতে হবে। তোমার ভাইয়ের যে একটা বন্ধু আছে না অয়ন ভাই, উনি অনেক চালাক আছে, অনেক স্মার্ট। এই আপু 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 শুনো শুনো শুনো, তুমি রাগ করলা?
তুমি যদি একটু পড়ো।
আপনাকে ঈদের শুভেচ্ছা।
ধন্যবাদ।
টপো দাঁড়া।
মেয়েটা দেখছিস?
কোন মেয়েটা?
তোদের বাসার দোতলায় আসছে।
মা মোম দিয়ে যাও না। আরে আসতেছি রে বাবা। আপনার গান শুনে ছাদে আসলাম। আপনি গিটার বাজান বল।
কি দিল এটা? 100 টাকা? আমি তো চাইছিলাম।
তোর মন খারাপ এটা তুই কি আসার আগেই জানতুই না আসার পর জানছোস?
সাদা ওড়না, কপালে ছোট্ট একটা টিপ, রোদের আলো।
এদিকে আয়, তুই আয়। আরে
আজ বেলাতে তোমার সুরে সুরে।
এই বিকেলে মাঠে আসবি তো? ফয়সাল আসছিল, ঈদের পরে কক্সবাজার যাওয়ার প্ল্যান করতেছে।
আসমানের চাঁদ লয়া এরকম বাসর ঘরে আহে তখন রাজা বাচ্চা গুলা হান
তুমি এই পোশাক কখনই চেঞ্জ করে আইবা, নালে কইলাম আমি তোমার আমার লগে থাকতে দিব না। আইসা আলগা খানদানি রেওয়াজ দেখে।
তোমার কত বড় সাহস, তুমি আমার মাথায় বাড়ি দিবা? এই আমি কি করছি? বাজান কি এইটা কাম করছে নি? আপনার মতো হীরার টুকরা একটা পোলারে লাথি দিয়ে বাইর করে দিচ্ছে।
দিমু একটা ঠুয়া, আমি পারুম না। এই বেটা, এই আমগো খানদানে পূর্বপুরুষেরা
কি টিপে পড়লা?
লাগলে হেরাও টিপা দিমু। তুমি বরং আমার হাতটা ব্যথা করতেছে, হাতটা টিপা দাও।
আরে এখানে হান্দাবার লাগছস কে? একটু ওদিকে নে না। তোমার বিছানা আমি ভিজায়া দিছি গা।
এটা তুমি কি করছো?
কি করছি, ঘুমাইবা না?
তোমার পূর্বপুরুষের মাথায় কি সমস্যা ছিল আব্বা?
নাটকের পর কয় কি শুনছো? ওই বেটা
আব্বা জান, আপনার পোলার এখন চিকান তো রুটি গরম না ঠান্ডা?
বাপরে বাপ, শুনছো নি? একেবারে ডর দেয় তো বলে খুশি খুশি করে কাটতো হয়েছে। আপনার ডর আপনার পকেটে থুয়া দেন।
খানদানটা আমার কত উচ্চা দেখতে হইব না?
দেখতেছি তো, উঁচা ভি আর লম্বা ভি।
একটু পরে ওরা বাইরে হবে।
কারা?
রূপা,
রূপা
কি যে অপরূপ লাগতেছিল।
এত সুন্দর?
হ্যাঁ।
কারেন্ট চলে আসলো, আম্মা এখনই ডাকবে। আমি এখন আসি। আপনার কেমন লাগছে কালকে খেলা?
সুন্দর, খুব সুন্দর।
ঢাকায় লোক কথা বললে যদি একটু ভালো লাগে এই আর কি। আরে মনটা যে কি খারাপ।
খরচ সব মিলে 500 টাকা পড়বে ফিক্সড।
500 টাকা? একটা কার্ডের দাম 500 টাকা? 200 টাকা দিলেই হবে, ঈদের পর দিয়ে দিব।
কি করবে এত টাকা দিয়ে?
একটা।
আমি আর পারবো না, আমার কাছে আর নাই। তোর বাবার কাছে গিয়ে চা।
বাবারে তুমি গিয়ে বলো।
গুছাতে গিয়ে এটা পেয়েছি। এটা কি?
যে বাচ্চাদের হাতে এর বেশি টাকা দেয়া যাবে না। তাছাড়া তোকে তো কয়েকদিন আগে গিটার কিনে দিল।
আচ্ছা শোন না, মন কি ভালো হয়েছে? গান সুন্দর তোমার।
ও, আমি তো আগে গান শিখতাম। কেমন কেমন? বোকা বোকা।
দেখ রূপা, আমার ভাইকে নিয়ে একটাও বাজে কথা বলবে না।
আপনাকে আরেকটা কার্ড দেখাই, এ দেখেন। সুন্দর না?
আচ্ছা তোর টাকা লাগবে, তুই আমাকে কেন বললি না?
খুব মনে বলে টাকা দিতি।